Bank should be
No,
easy and convenient. That's why I'm a Meet
just
You
asking
Credit
you how
Union
it
member.
works.
They got a top-rated mobile app, and they get to use over 30,000 ATMs for free. That means I could access my money anywhere. Like here. Breathing. Or here. And always here at my local branch.
Just can't be back here.
Right. If you live or work in the Baltimore area, check out Meet You Credit Union and start getting more for your money. Welcome to better banking for all.
Welcome back to the Diamond K Show here on RadioFire.com. We're at the Radio Fire Studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. Special guest in the building. Please introduce yourself, man.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nneka Nnamdi. What else you want me to say?
How long have I known you?
We just established 26 going on 27 years.
Long time.
Long time.
And so you are very active in and around Baltimore.
Yes.
Doing what?
So I am the director, I'm the creator of Fight, Blight, Be More, which is a social, economic, and environmental justice initiative aimed at remediating blight using data and elevating the community in the process. I also am the director of Community Development for the Living Well Center for Social and Economic Vibrancy. And I am one of the founders of Baltimore African Culture Keepers, which is a fitness group aimed at helping our people engage in fitness activities at their level, at any level and at all levels, but especially through movement that is rooted in African culture.
As it should be. Very good. Sexy shit. I got you. And so, as far as blight, where are we in our battle with that? Is it getting better?
So I would have to say no. We, according to the city, Baltimore has something like 17,000 vacant structures and another 16,000 or so vacant lots. But that isn't the sum total of blight, because blight also includes abandoned, dilapidated, underutilized, and misutilized properties in community. So I think if you look at all 5 classes of blight, the city probably has quadrupled the number of structures, if not more than that actually are blighted. The city doesn't seem to have a good plan for what to do. The city seems to be okay with just demolishing vacant structures, which just create vacant lots, which are just another form of blight. So they're just transforming from one form of blight to the next. I don't see any substantive development happening in Baltimore's most blighted neighborhoods. Meanwhile, I can see cranes all over the sky in Port Covington and down in other neighborhoods around the water. So my answer, the short answer is no, unless you live in a neighborhood adjacent to like Canton, and where things are creeping out slowly but surely. But in large part, no.
So doesn't that take some time to clear this, to solve this challenge?
Yeah, it took like 60, 70 years for it to get this bad.
Right.
On purpose. And so I think the game, if you're asking me, is they make it
gentrification? Is that
absolutely. Everything, even if you look at the governor's Project Core, which is aimed at demolishing and redeveloping many of the properties that we're talking about,
right,
it's really setting the stage for gentrification. So the state and the city are doing the job that landowners or property owners should do by basically making their property safe. In the from the standpoint that a vacant structure that's falling down isn't safe, right? So it is better on one hand to have a vacant lot, but that has some other issues as well. But they're just doing the pre-development work for the developers who will come behind. So, yeah, it's long. They played a long game. They knew this. They knew this would be the outcome probably about 1980, right after they finished all that work on the waterfront. Excuse me, I got eyelash in my eye. But yeah, gentrification is the ultimate goal. If you've been to Oakland, if you've been to Harlem, if you've been to D.C., you got Bama's got
Harlem does not look.
Nah,
yeah,
bruh.
really did
Nah.
Really did a number on
And
Harlem.
neither does 14th and U. You got
Right.
folks walking their dogs at Howard and then getting on TV with the unmitigated gall to say, well, if they don't want our dogs here, maybe they should move. No, Howard ain't moving.
Yeah.
Nobody told you move around here with your little dog. They should have put some poison down.
That was.
Yep. I said it. They should have put some poison down. It's private. That's not a public university. That's a private school.
It's private property.
Private property.
Yeah.
You should
And
put some
they
dog
have
poison
dog
down there.
parks. They have dog parks in the area.
Listen. Dog
Yeah.
park in your backyard. How about that?
Well, you know. But dog owners are a different breed. They're different. They
That's the way you say it.
they definitely don't appreciate the poison comment. Like this is a BBD video or
I
something.
don't care what they appreciate. Keep your dog off of private property.
Yeah, that was the audacity. I was very disturbed by that story. It would go different here, you think, if that was Morgan?
No, I don't think it would go much different. I mean, I think some things are going to be different because Baltimore is a little bit more, what's the word?
Urban?
I mean, they do call this place Mob Town for a reason, right? So Baltimore can be a little bit more thuggish, ruggish. So I don't think gentrification is going to go exactly the way it has gone in Oakland or in Harlem or or in DC.
Let me push back on something.
It's about to go down.
Now it is because people are gonna take this the wrong way. All right, let's say that the black communities now were white communities, right? And let's say that the white people were the minority of the country, right? And let's say that the black people were the majority. The black people control most of the stuff. Let's flip it. Okay? Let's say that the white people were not keeping the neighborhoods clean.
Oh, we going here.
Let's completely flip it. Would we do the same exact thing if we could, given the circumstances, if they were reversed?
I'm gonna go with no, but let me say it like this. First of all, the conditions that we see in Baltimore today are the direct result of policy, legislation, and regulation.
What specifically?
Let me finish. Not a direct result of some kind of shortcoming on the part of black people. So,
agreed. I agree with that.
Let's start with 1910. 1910, Baltimore becomes the first city, the first jurisdiction in the United States to have a residential segregation law, right?
True.
So from 1910 until about 1955 or whatever, you couldn't just live wherever you wanted to, right? They have restrictive covenants and all of that. So in the middle of that, then you have redlining happen, which basically is you could not get a federally backed home loan if the home was inside of neighborhoods that were predominantly black, brown, poor, or were in transition racially. Right? So that meant that black people had to get particular types of loans, like contract loans, which were very predatory, which also meant that black people then had to make sure they didn't miss a mortgage payment, which means people working 2 and 3 jobs, which means, children aren't getting the care they need, elders aren't getting the care they need, so your community gets a little wavy. And then when the restrictive covenants and all that kind of discriminatory stuff, it supposedly goes away in the 60s with the Civil Rights Acts. Then more than half the city gets up and leave because they refuse to live in a city with black folks, right?
We're talking about segregation,
right,
and then integration.
Right. So now we at white flight. So at the point that half the city or more leaves over 40 years and erodes the tax base.
When you say half the people, you're talking about the white people.
Yeah, I'm talking about predominantly white people. Yeah, some black people left, but the first movers on leaving were white people, and the reason that they left is because they did not want to live next to black people, right? They did not want their kids going to school with black people, right?
Let me stop you for 1 second. Mm-hmm. But the black people wanted to be there because
in Baltimore?
Next to the white people. You think?
Well, I think that the reality of it is what black people wanted was equity.
Yes, they thought.
And we thought that, and some of us still do think
incorrectly thought
that white people's water is wetter.
Yes.
But also, let's be clear that part of the reason why people sought civil rights is because black people were paying taxes the whole time and not being represented, and their taxes were being allocated by people who did not represent their community.
Definitely.
So that's a piece of the story too. But in any case,
before you leave segregation.
I wasn't leaving segregation. Well, okay,
before we get to the flight part, the mindset is what I'm talking about. That mindset is still present now.
Absolutely, you still got black people who want proximity or to assimilate into white culture. That's absolutely a thing.
And until they accept the fact that will not happen, we're gonna have problems.
Problem. I mean, you ain't gonna get argument.
Yeah, we agree on that. We agree on that.
After about 100 years,
and I mean, I think we'll probably separate soon, but
it's not gonna last long.
So, are we agreeing that integration was a problem?
I agree that our elders and ancestors who were a part of the civil rights movement were right to seek equity in terms of in terms of voting and in terms of being able to have representation that would allocate their tax dollars within our community. I believe that our ancestors were right, again, elders were right to seek the right to attend public universities and to use any kind of public resources the way anybody else should, whether that's riding on a bus, whether that's whatever, all of that kind of stuff, right? Anything that's dealt with public dollars. But you can't legislate love. And people who hate you and people who think that you are inferior, I don't care how many laws you put on the books, as the last 60 years has evidence, they're going to hate you. Yes. And they're not going to see your humanity, no matter how many times you stand out on the corner, yes, holding up a sign that say, "Am I a man?" No matter how many times they bomb a church and kill 4 little girls, or shoot into a crowd of students in Soweto, it doesn't matter. They're not going to see your humanity. Right. The only thing that you can see is that your tax dollars, that you're represented by somebody who has your interests at heart, because politics is a whole nother thing. Yeah. To allocate your tax dollars within your community.
Meaning black politicians.
Meaning not necessarily black politicians, because not all our skin folk ain't kinfolk.
True.
Right. But it could mean black politicians, but it also could mean a progressive or conservative white politician that got the right idea about what should happen with our tax dollars.
So my problem is when integration happened, mm-hmm, many people just thought, okay, we won, we did it, it's all good now, everything should be fine now.
Well, I think that many of us underestimated the hate. Right. And because we are forgiving and loving people, we expected that is what we would get in return. And instead, what we got in return was, Jane Crow. in the form of regulation, in the form of deindustrialization and the jobs that we were just able to get in the unions, and then went to Singapore, then went overseas where they didn't have to honor even a modicum of people's humanity, went to China, wherever they went. And so things just shifted, the ground shifted from under us. And then things did look, they looked a little bit less racist. But the reality of it is racism is an economic system, and it always has been. And if you want to really deal with racism, you have to look at the underlying issue, which is money, all the time.
That is, I agree with that as well. But where did the city really, were we on the right path at one point in time?
No, city ain't never been on the right path, never. I mean, but let's be honest, the country ain't never been on the right path, never. Because anytime the founding of your country starts in a genocide and an enslavement, you is wrong from the door. And when you don't do anything to repair those original sins, you're always going to have an issue until those original sins are addressed. So Baltimore has never been on a good foot, not never. And they just keep doing the same. Honestly, they just keep doing the same kind of stuff over and over and over again. So we get the 60s, white flight, people roll out, they erode the tax base. 70s come through, all of the port jobs, the union jobs, they move off seas. Then Nixon and his war on drugs or war on poverty, which are wars on black and brown people.
Definitely.
Then the 80s come and, Iran Contra, and they didn't crack King, and that devastates our community and mass incarceration.
Let me pause you for a second. If segregation is still going on,
okay,
do you think that those things would have still happened?
Well, segregation, de facto segregation is still going on, right?
Yeah.
Black people still primarily live in black neighborhoods. White people primarily still live in white neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Hispanic people, we can go down.
That's a natural thing.
Some of it is natural and some of it is not, right? But in any case, if in 1965, when all of these new laws came into place, black people had said, okay, now as these people are rolling out, we're going to bring some more of our people from off the Eastern Shore, because they still don't know slavery over down there, right? Some more people from North Carolina, some more of our people from, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, whatever. And so every time one of y'all leave, we just going to bring another black face in here and fill it up, keep our tax base strong and all of that. We may have a completely different city. But of course, we have the benefit of hindsight. Yeah. Because of course, folks really didn't think the white people was just gonna get up and be like, "Oh, we out." Who would think that you would do all? Who would think you would do all that? So, I think we would have had a different city if the inferiority complex that many of us carry had been addressed prior to that. I think we would have had a different, we could have been like, well, shit, we start bringing Bamas over here, from Africa. Like, y'all like immigrants so much over this piece. Let's go over, bring some more Bamas over here. We can set up a little reverse colony or some shit. But again, we have the benefit of seeing what happened. We have the benefit. Right. We have the benefit of seeing that. Oh, that don't work. I don't care how much you march. I don't care how many dogs. I don't care. Right. And whoever they can't kill, they co-op. Mostly. That had definitely happened. Definitely. Right. Neutralize. Give you a little position. Those just tuning in, RadioFire.com, Nneka Nnamdi in here talking about a variety of things. We're talking about Baltimore, and we're working our way up to the mayor. But we started from 1910. Don't make so it took us a little while. Spit my water on my. Took us a little while to get there. This Sunday, the Flywire All White Party is going down. 6 to 10. I will be on the red carpet.
doing what I always do, talking to sexy people. Only the sexy people.
Clowning.
The Reginald F. Lewis Museum, tickets still available for this event. Number 14.
Damn. Time flies.
Time flies, right. Eventbrite, get your tickets. So we are in the 90s now.
All right, we stopped in the 80s.
We stopped in the 80s. Okay, we go ahead to crack era hit, and most of those drugs came from outside of this country. Got here mysteriously. Don't know how it happened. And
what's that show called? Snowfall?
Yeah. Devastated our communities. Right? Then what happened?
So 90s come, stuff continues. They locking up everybody, giving people basketball sentences. Well, that's after the 1994 crime bill. And let's be clear, part of it is our communities were being hit so hard by crack and by the violence that came along sometimes with the drug trade that people were lobbying for actively for law enforcement to do something about it. And so they was like, oh, yeah, we about to get this money. So they just locked up everybody. Now, I just want to note that Kirk Smoke told these clowns in the 90s, if you remember, they ran him up out of here on a rail because he said that this was a public health crisis and we should address it as such. The exact thing that they're now doing because little white kids is dying off these opioids.
Yeah.
Right? So let's be clear. Kirk Smoke was, once again, the black man is ahead of the game. Right?
Yeah.
Keep going. Drug war continues. The American economy, like this whole time, corporations are continuing to move jobs slowly overseas. You know, of course, automation comes into place, more computerization, But basically, all of them blue-collar jobs are largely gone. We have moved to a service economy or we've moved to a tech economy. And a lot of our folks were not able to access the training or education that gives you access to those jobs. And then because of the war on drugs, people either were not capable anymore. Right. They were dead. They were in prison. Or when they got out of prison, they couldn't get a job, even if they had the skills to do the work. So economically, we just flat, like in a way. So we in the 90s, 2000s come up, and now we're here and everything's tech. You know, it's biotech, mobile app development, all kinds of stuff, but mostly focus on health information systems. At least in Baltimore, a lot of small tech companies are coming on board, whether they're doing media stuff or whether they're doing graphic stuff. But the city is now. We talking about 1955. You had 1.2 million people. Today it's something like 670,000. So you're talking about a city half the size. Because at some point, also at some point in the 80s and 90s, black people who had a couple coins started bouncing too, and continue to bounce. And
where did they go? Stayed in Maryland, but left Baltimore.
Well, so white folks went wherever they wanted to go, in Baltimore County mostly. Some in Carroll County, Howard County, and Arundel County. Black people basically went up Liberty Road. And almost exclusively until a few years ago, and then we started going out Essex. The reason why we went up Liberty Road is because Social Security complex was up there. And so in the 70s, when they started working on that, they opened some kind of office inside of Social Security to help the black folks that were working there move up into that Woodlawn area. And so we just slowly crept up that way. But if you notice, most black people in Baltimore County live in between Route 40 and Ricestown Road. And now in that little, Essex, Dundalk, Parkville, over there. And those folks then moved to Harford County, Carroll County, Howard County, As we come in, they sell low to get out, to get away from us. And then we end up paying too much for the property that's now devalued just by our blackface moving in there, which is a whole nother game. Because the building is the building. You're appraising the building.
Yes.
But they appraising the people that live in the building or the people that live in the community. So that's how we get screwed every time. And now, them same people that moved out Carroll County to get away from you is moving down Canton. And you silly. You try and move out Carroll County behind them because you try and get away from the regular Negroes. But you gonna get stuck out Carroll County because you about to pay $500,000 for a house. And as soon as you move in it, the whole neighborhood gonna get devalued by 20%. They done bought a house for $100,000 cash down Canton, put $100,000
It's a
in
great
it,
flip.
and they live in fancy. They got everything down there. They don't gotta come up out of there because they didn't retire or they work downtown. It's gang.
Very true. Very true. So now we need to talk solutions.
I thought you wanted to talk about the mayor.
Well, you mentioned
Those two things don't go together, bro.
You mentioned Kurt Smoke. You mentioned Kurt Smoke.
I did mention Kurt Smoke.
You like Kurt Smoke,
I like that.
but all in
He
all,
was right. He was right.
Was he a good mayor?
I mean, I was a kid, and so
He spoke at my graduation.
yeah, I think he was on point with that public health piece.
Yeah.
I think Baltimore was more like the city that reads than the city that leads at that time.
At that time. So what came after him?
Was that Martin O'Malley?
O'Malley.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Mr. Stop and Frisk.
Yeah, that hurt us
Absolutely.
big time. He did it in New York as well. Mm-hmm. And that hurt us big time. Big
Of
time.
course. Anytime you have a whole bunch of people, didn't they stop like 100,000 people in 1 year? Locked up 100,000 people on some shady, not even constitutional policing type stuff. So you lock somebody up that's poor.
That was like
BS.
the gun trace task force of the time.
Right. On some BS. They might not have the $250 to bail themselves out or whatever it is.
Right.
They sit in jail for several months. Then the district attorney or state's attorney, whatever they are, drop the case. But they've already lost their house, their kids is in foster care. People don't understand that stop and frisk was a major problem. Major problem. All it served to do was basically give police an excuse to run up all this overtime. You know that officer that got arrested apparently is the second highest paid city employee. Yo made like over $100,000 in overtime.
Who we talking about? The one with
the one that just
the
got
body
arrested?
camera, the body
Yeah.
camera and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is his name?
Who, the guys, the
Yeah,
officer's
I don't
name.
know.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Right. But in any case, yeah, Martin O'Malley, and he sucked.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing is that he put into play Newburgh. He put into play a set of policies and a mindset that continued after him.
Well, you talking about in the police force?
O'Malley, yeah.
No,
I'm talking about the mindset of the next mayor.
Oh.
He groomed the next one.
Sheila Dixon?
You don't think that his fingerprints were on my homegirl,
I mean,
Miss Rollins?
She didn't come next.
No, I know.
Sheila came next.
I know. You said Sheila, and then I skipped.
Oh, you skipped Sheila.
I skipped Sheila.
Yeah, I bet you did. I mean, probably all they had. Look, based on what I'm learning about the political system, all these people hands be on each other.
Yeah.
Right? All these people be having touches, and basically whoever control the money is the one that control the people.
Yeah.
I mean, control the politicians. And until the people
And that's not just here.
No, that's not just everywhere.
Yeah.
Until the people figure out a way to identify, vet, and fund and platform politicians specifically at the local level, then we short. Because
do you think that the money needs to be out of politics?
Well, I think everybody should be playing on the same field. So I think it should be one pool of money. And if you running for city council, you get 50,000, you get 50,000, you get 50,000, you get 50,000. That way it don't matter how much you're not able to win because you can get your name out there because that's what it's all about. Name recognition. And because you get more money you got more money to fix your image and fix your teeth and you know, go to Toastmasters or what, you know, whatever have you. No, I think that they should be working from the same amount of money.
You think on a national level as well?
I think most politics are local. So I guess yes, but I feel like starting on a local level is where it's at.
Yeah, agreed. I don't see that happening.
No, I doubt it. Not in this lifetime.
Yeah. Or the next.
We more likely to have another uprising in the city than that.
Well, that could happen.
That may happen.
That could happen.
These police keep on.
So, you hear the rumblings that we don't need another female mayor. Where do you sit with that?
First of all,
you haven't heard this? You haven't heard nobody say this?
I mean, I heard people say a lot of stuff, but number one, let's start with...
Didn't Bubala, what was her name? Bubala, is that her name?
I don't know how you say her name.
Yeah, but her name is Bubala.
First of all, let's start with number one. If you're talking about an adult woman, an adult human, female is a woman. That's number one. So we may or may not need another woman mayor. I don't know. We need somebody that's qualified to do the job. We need somebody who can sit in the chair and run the city. We need somebody who can clean up the mess and stop acting like it's a game and stop acting like Schaefer wasn't shady and all of that.
They love Schaefer.
They love Schaefer, but Schaefer was shady as shit. All right.
Did we consider him a female mayor?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I mean, it's possible.
I don't know what he was. What I will say is this. We talking about...
all politicians are shady.
I'm not going to say all. I'll say most.
Are they?
I would
you
say
got to make deals. Mm-hmm. You got to make the backroom meetings. Mm-hmm. You got to... Yeah. You know.
I mean, but do you gotta?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, because it's a money thing.
Well,
like you said, getting your name out there. If you don't get your name out there, how people gonna know?
That's
so
true.
You got to make the deals with the devil, so to speak.
But even but people continue to make these deals after their name is out there.
Oh yeah, become lobbyists.
When the money don't even matter as much anymore. But that's not the point. My point was people want to talk all this trash about what Catherine Pugh did or didn't do, which I think is interesting that the FBI raided. When you ever seen the FBI raid and then wait like 5 weeks? She ain't been arrested yet.
She ain't going to be arrested. This wasn't about arresting her.
I understand that, but that's the point.
They're not going to ever speak about it again. It was to get her to step down because, in my opinion, she ruffled some feathers about the Preakness.
Of course.
They threw that out there to get her out of there.
Right.
Because as soon as that lawsuit came, then this shit came.
Right.
That stuff been there. Everybody know.
But again, but my point is, people talking about that, but people ain't talking about how Schaefer basically gave all of Southeast Baltimore to the Paterakis man for like $2, and that was they was cool. So is that, you know, that's not corrupt, that's not shady, that's not sideways.
But the thing is only who did you piss off? That's all. Right. Because people knew, and had he pissed off the right person that would have put it out there, they could have ruined him. But he was doing shady business.
Well, what up?
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, unethical.
Unethical. Okay.
Because I don't think
necessarily. Now, is there a difference between should you be forced to step down because of unethical things?
Well, yeah, probably.
So Dixon should have got what she got. Is that what you're saying?
That's that.
Because that was petty. But it's the same thing. To me, it's the same thing.
It was
She
petty.
pissed somebody off, and that's what they had. That's what they had on her. So,
it was petty. I mean, but then again, if it's not illegal, then maybe we should draw the line at that. And now, if it's a violation of whatever ethics forms or whatever you sign, then I guess you guys sit down. But if it's not
what's
illegal,
the difference between sitting down and
resigning?
apologizing? I got you. Apologizing. Okay. I mean, because in Virginia, the governor there, okay, the blackface.
I mean, well, you know,
he halfway apologized, whatever it was, that's just done. You know what I mean? If that was Baltimore.
But offending black people people offend us.
We were offended, quote unquote, by the healthy Holly stuff. They were so outraged. We get offended by the dumbest things. But the things that should offend us, we don't care about.
Well, I mean, I think if I would have been able to stand up and be like, get out my face about the healthy Holly stuff if we had seen them kids in the schools using them books to learn about healthy living all along. I would have been like, I ain't trying here. Yeah, she got paid, so what? Well, first of all, my people ain't anybody in the school seeing the books. Then the one or two people that did see the books say the books was garbage. What I'm supposed to do with that? I can't defend that. I can defend you getting money. That's the American way. She's not the only
person to do that.
She not. I could have defended that if it was in service in some level to the community, but it just looked like it was in service to her pockets.
Yeah, but other politicians have done much worse, and it didn't serve nobody but themselves and their girl, a wife, mistress, kids.
Have you heard me rapping for any of them?
You seem like you rapping for Sheila Dixon.
Well, I mean, $500 a gift card.
But she did much more than that. She got contracts. But when you are in charge of the contracts, you decide where the contracts go.
But here's the other thing: the mayor and the BOE, them Bammers having a vote on the BO, that whole system need to be changed.
Agreed.
Because you should not, or at least, the whole system should be changed. The BOE should be made up of not the mayor. Probably not even, maybe the president of the city council and the comptroller. But why we don't have somebody from the community, a community commissioner from each district on the board of estimates? That way you could, in that case, you could keep the mayor up there if you want, but add people from each district, a community commissioner from each district, and they can vote.
Right.
Boom.
That would make sense.
Then it would at least be more balanced, right? But I don't think, as it stands now, that's a game. They down there,
running game. They running game.
And I encourage people to look at the Board of Estimates agendas. Man, Hopkins be getting so much, grant money from the city. University of Maryland be getting so much grant money from the city. Money that could be going, instead of to big institutions, to people that are closer to the work, that have lived experience with the issues, or people who have new and inventive ideas, new delivery mechanisms for stuff, not the same old stuff. But how you double, because Hopkins, them school, university, they double dipping. You don't pay no taxes, and now you getting grant money. Come on, man, I can't. So the whole system, that's why I say Baltimore ain't never been right. The whole system is flawed.
Yeah, I mean, but
people just trying to live, so they don't got time to sit up and run all this down and be, the stuff that I do is hours and hours and hours of
people
research.
Headline read.
Right, because listen, who got time to be going down the library? I mean, and let me say it like this: I'm not saying that people aren't responsible to get the information that they need to make good decisions, to advocate on behalf of themselves. I'm just saying that I can understand how it's daunting. I can understand how, after you done worked all day and dealt with your children and try to do right, that you don't feel like, I should even have to do that. And maybe you shouldn't. But the reality of it is, if we want to not get pushed out of a city that we've been living in, a city whose culture is a direct result of our culture, then we're going to have to do something differently. And that means we're going to have to do some study. It means we want to do some work. It means we want to hold some politicians accountable. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I went to school with Antonio Hayes. So when down Annapolis talking about John Hopkins should get a police force, I went right on Facebook and made a little video, and I told him and I tagged him and told him in no uncertain terms, if you vote for that, I can't vote for you in the next election. And I meant that. I said, I don't care what else you do. If you vote for this, this is a no-go. And when I see him, I'm be like, yo, damn, bro, you call my bluff. Cool. I can't bang with that. And I understand politics is about diplomacy, because I know he's going to give me this story about some backroom deal he had to make with somebody from over here and da-da-da. And I be like, yo, Hopkins don't need no police force to continue terrorizing black people in Baltimore. And that you co-sign for that, it's problematic, and I can't vote for you. I hope you do other good stuff. I mean, I will work with you on advocating in the community, but I'm not voting for you because you was dead wrong with that. Yeah. And we have to, this is a city where people know each other.
Definitely.
You know these Bammers. You know they grandmother. You know they aunt. You know, call these Bammers up and be like, yo, nah. When you see them out at the spot drinking and having a good time and partying up at the Urban League, this, that, and other, be like, look, bro, let me talk to you. Look, sis, let me talk to you. That's not cool. Go down to city council and sign up and stand in a long line and testify. And if you can't do that, you can submit written testimony through your city council person. Like, we have to get involved, and we have to mobilize around these issues, or they're going to just continue to do whatever the people who fund their campaigns tell them to do.
Right. And that's exactly what happens.
I get that John Hopkins is powerful. I get that there's a lot of pressure to concede to what they want, but you can see into what they want, and that stuff be costing us our lives. Like, and that's real. Like, Hopkins ain't been no friend of black people. Ever. Never. From Henrietta Lacks, from before that. Yeah. Like, ain't never been no front of our people. So what do they need a police force for? For what? I mean, seriously, even if we just look at it, what's going to happen? They already have a whole bunch of security guards. What's going to happen to them security guards that's mostly black? What's going to happen to their jobs if they get a police force? They going to keep them security guards? Or is most of them going to lose their jobs?
Yeah, most of them would lose their job.
So even from that standpoint, I mean,
essentially, they want their force to be able to carry guns. Is what I'm saying, so they can shoot somebody.
All right, well,
that's what they want to happen, because you might as well say they have a police force. They got security. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They don't have guns. Mm-hmm. They want to be able to have guns, and they don't have to wait to call somebody, to call 911. They want their officers to be able to bust somebody.
I bet you more people get assaulted at Johns Hopkins University I bet you they had more student assaults and rapes and thefts at the university itself.
I agree.
Than they do down at the campus, at the hospital, or surrounding it. So how about you go sit your behind down? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. This 100%. Whole police thing don't even make no sense.
It doesn't make sense, but they want to do it, and like you said, they're powerful, and they want to do it.
So they doing it.
So going back, they forced the mayor to resign. Forced Catherine Pugh to resign.
She should have told where all the dead bodies lie. She should have snitched on everybody. Everything she knew, she should have told. I'm going down. I'm resigning.
I bet she's scared.
Let me tell you something. If you're not ready to die, then you don't belong doing this work. And at 70 years old, 69, whatever she is, you didn't live a good life, whatever. If you're not ready to tell the truth and stand up, man, we don't even need you in this game. And that is 100%.
Well, I don't think she had that level of commitment.
Well, then you shouldn't have been out there playing. You was stomping with them. You was playing with them. You was at the big tables with them. You was with them. Well, this how thugs play. You thought you was gonna buck Preakness and they wasn't gonna come for you. You silly. And where was your squad? Cause your homegirls were supposed to tell you, yo, if you buck Preakness, they gonna come for you. They're going to come for you. Are you ready? Because if you're not ready, you might as well concede to that and let black people be mad at you. Or let whoever be mad at you.
Well, I told her we don't need the Preakness. She was all on this Preakness shit. I was just like, what has the Preakness done for Baltimore?
First of all.
Or Park Heights.
First of all, Park Heights looked like somebody blew a bomb up
Yeah.
It looked like the move.
They next.
It looked like the move
They
bombing
next.
all
They
over.
next to get gentrified.
Yeah.
They next. They on the list.
It looked like the move bombing all over Park Heights.
Yeah.
Right? What has Pimlico or the Preakness or its owners done for Park Heights? Nothing. They ain't never done nothing before. They not going to never do nothing now. So let them ride out of here on the same horses they rode in here on. Goodbye. Go to Laurel. Take that mess down. Take that mess down Laurel. We don't need it. What? And people like, it brings so much money. To who? Who got paid? Who got paid? And please don't tell me about people parking their cars. They make like $2,000-$3,000. When you making $20,000 a year. But
she said that.
But here's the thing. If you had done substantive development in Baltimore over the last 40 years, people wouldn't be worrying about $3,000 at that race, because they would be making $60,000-$70,000 a year, and it wouldn't matter. So I'm not trying to hear that. And all them Preakness pimps that's down there kissing them people rings and look, let them people go. Let them go. Bye. Wave to them. We don't need that race. If Baltimore is dependent on the Preakness for its economic vibrancy, we got a much bigger problem.
Yes, them dumbass hats.
Them hats is dumb.
Yeah, them hats dumb as shit. I mean, yeah, you right. We have bigger problems. We don't, okay, this ain't no baseball town. This ain't no horse racing town. That time is gone, okay?
Was it ever a horse racing town, or was it just for the elite?
It was, long time ago, before we was born, horse racing
this is a blue, again.
Yeah, horse racing might have been a thing. I don't know.
Horse racing is an upper crust elite thing. Yeah. Baltimore is a blue collar town.
We was cockfights probably.
dog
fight. Yeah, they definitely was doing dog fights.
So and let that race go. Yeah. Just like during the housing bubble or whatever, they should have let AIG fail.
Oh,
ain't nothing
but
too
they
big to
fail. They wasn't scared.
That
was too big to fail. What does that mean?
What does that mean? That's what they told the people when you think the people too stupid to understand.
Capitalism, if you can't make it, bye.
Check this out. The British Empire was once the largest empire in the world.
Yeah.
They had
outposts. Said the sun never set.
Sun never set. That shit fell. Is the world still going? Yeah. Okay, well, get the hell on. Get the hell on with that. Ain't nothing is too big to fail. The sun will burn up about 1,000 millennium from now. Yeah. Earth will be no more. Right. Ain't no such shit as too big to fail.
Correct.
So they need to cut that out.
Yeah, I agree.
So let Pimlico go. Look, we got CIAA coming. Yeah. Let's focus on making CIAA the dopest shit ever. Yeah. How about that? Do some other stuff. You got... It's so much other stuff we could be doing.
Many people are scared of change. They're scared of something different.
I get it. But they ain't never...
I seen them the Pimlico, it was here when I was a little kid.
And most of them people ain't never even been inside there.
Yeah, never.
They ain't
never even been on the east side.
Do the Pimlico allow the Arabs to bring their horses up there and get the horses cared for? Do Pimlico allow
the Arabs?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Do they got some kind of horse? Do they send their vets down here? Do they send some carts down here? Do they shoot the horses? I don't know what they do. That's how you know you don't really know.
You don't shoot a horse.
You shoot the horses anymore. Like, come on, yeah. We don't need Pimlico and we don't need the Preakness. Tell them take that shit on.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyway,
on to the next. What else don't we need?
Stood up to the Preakness.
Well, let's not go that far.
And they knocked her down.
She should stand up and snitch on everybody. That's
and
what she do.
No,
tell on everybody.
They have the stop snitching code.
Oh yeah. I guess she was involved. She was worried. Not mine.
Then they would have suited her.
Whatever.
They would have suited her. Now, then we get the reluctant mayor that I really don't want to do this. I'd rather be president of city council. Oh no, not me. Jack Young. We get Jack Young as I didn't want Jack Young. He wasn't my choice. Okay.
Apparently wasn't nobody's choice.
Yeah. But we got Jack Young, the reluctant mayor. What kind of job? 30 days in, what kind of job is Jack Young doing?
Right now, I would give him an F outright.
Yeah, is he failing or passing?
But I'm not going to give him an F outright because he did let's start with, my mother always say start with the positive, right?
Okay.
So the move to separate the Civilian Review Board or the Office of Civil Rights and Wage Enforcement away, he made some kind of move where he separated them away from the city government in a way that will allow them some autonomy to do the work that they need to do to check these wild Ku Klux Klan police officers. So that was good. That was dope. Thumbs up on that. So that's why I can't fail him outright, because that really is an important step toward police accountability and community policing and policing, I don't want to say 21st century policing, but policing in a way that's more healthy. So that was good that he did. Now, the rest of it, I don't know what the hell he talking about, and I don't know what the hell he doing. Where his squad at? Because they need to tell him to run his thoughts past them before he get on a mic, because he just be saying crazy stuff. Or not delivering a full message so it make him look crazy.
Yeah, you said that again. Does he drink?
I don't know what he do.
He evidently, and I'm a fan of boxing. I am.
Me too.
I'm going to go see Tank whip somebody's ass down at the Royal Farms Arena. I am. I'm going to go. But he said, Jack Young, that in a very infamous statement, they need to settle the street beefs in the boxing ring. Maybe he was joking.
No, he wasn't joking. Here's the thing. If he had a press conference and had the people from Umar Boxing, the people from Upton Boxing, the martial artists all over the city, capoeiras all over the city, yogis all over the city, and said, listen, we need to focus on teaching young people in community the martial arts, from boxing to capoeira to karate to yoga. Number one, because they teach discipline, they teach conflict resolution, they teach de-escalation, and they teach the value of human life, right? When it is appropriate, how to use appropriate force, when it is appropriate to engage and disengage. And the city is going to put some funds into these particular organizations and others that do that work, so that in every area of the city, youth can come off from the street and get this training, right? And we're going to pay that with mediation, and we're going to pay that with meditation. All of these services are going to be offered because we've seen how boxing has saved the lives of young people through its discipline, If he had made a statement like that, people would have been like, all right, Jack, he talking right. But you going to say, it's not boxing itself that settles the beef. It's the teaching that comes through the practice of boxing.
Absolutely. That
teaches people how to handle their aggression. But you can't come out and just say they need to settle the street beefs. That was just bonehead, and it made him look unintelligent. And maybe in his mind he was thinking all the things that I just said. But you can't just be the mayor after all of this other messy stuff and make statements like that and not have at least somebody step to the podium and clarify what you said, because you look simple.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to tell them stop shooting each other and go back to the old school. That he was trying to say, and
that's not.
But he didn't.
Yeah, but going back to the old school, you mean when somebody could make minimum wage and raise a family of 4?
Well, I mean,
we're
talking about the time before the internet, but we ain't talking about not having the internet. He's talking about the principles of that time period. Right,
but the principles of that time period were also based on the environment at that time period.
Yes.
Because I don't care what you say, a hungry man will bust you upside the head. Period. right? And so part of what we have going on in our community is hungry, I mean, literally malnourished and dehydrated people.
Yeah, but so, I mean, if we dissect it, yes, the segment is that. Another problem is conflict resolution.
Absolutely.
That's another problem. And because we address one problem, because it's about the conflict resolution, that's what he was addressing. He wasn't addressing the economic factor. He was only addressing you stepped on my Yeezys. Now I gotta shoot you. Or
is that why people getting shot?
No, no. But I'm just. But
people getting shot because of the economic reality.
Yes.
So.
And conflict resolution.
Resolution.
You know, for instance, me and you walking down the street, right? You're very shapely. You want to stand up and show?
No, I don't.
Okay, she don't want to stand up. But
is you paying?
Trust me, I can. Video? You take Bitcoin.
The city better pay them damn Bitcoins. That's what they better do.
So me and you walking down the street. Mm-hmm. Somebody says something, right? I feel disrespected. I approach him. That can escalate. You know what I mean? That kind of mindset. People can get shot over that kind of stuff. You know, sure. or I'm not even outside. You walking past and somebody say something and I hear what they said and I feel disrespected and I react. And then they react. That can happen. Or it could be street activity. Any number of things. But it comes down to how we handle conflict. Whatever that conflict is. In addition to economic factor.
Right.
But I mean, the street element, it used to be, I mean, people always been shot. You know what I mean?
People always been shot.
Whether it was a slingshot or a gun. People always been shot. But we want to minimize the shooting. What?
That was funny.
What, a slingshot?
Yeah, that shit was funny. You went to David and Goliath.
People always been shot. You know what I mean? But the mayor... And you pointed out, and I think it's before we got on air, he needs somebody to speak for him. The president needs somebody to speak for him. He does. He doesn't speak well.
Well, it's beyond not speaking well with the president. The president is not of good character. Let me just say it like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Period. The end. Now, he wasn't of good character before. He became president, and now he is like Willy Wonka in the atomic bomb, in the ballistic missile factory. This is bad. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Jack Young, that was a bad statement. Then he came behind that talking about some tear the pavilions down and rebuild them down the harbor. I literally can't.
Well, before we go there. All right.
What else?
We had a ransomware attack.
Oh, jeez.
Right? We had a situation where they couldn't use their computers, the emails. It was all crazy. And there was a $80K bill that they wanted paid, and the hijackers, and they didn't pay it. I think they paid it though, because the people who make the virus protection also make the virus. Out the front door, we sell the cure. Out the back door, we give you the disease.
Well, Baltimore City gave itself this disease by not having the proper.
Our shit was ancient.
The proper
we were
system.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
So what they do is they seek out marks. Mark, we can get them. Their shit look crazy. They ain't got no passwords on their shit. You know what I mean? And we didn't have no passwords. And, you know what I mean? We got jammed up. Should he have paid the bill? Should he have paid the $80K or the $18 million that he paid? I'm telling you, went to the people that gave us the thing. And he don't know. It's just like, did you ever see Rush Hour? The first one? The guy who kidnapped the little girl was the guy who was consoling the guy whose girl was kidnapped, the little Asian girl.
I gotta go back and watch.
That's how shit works. And he told me, like, I'm your friend. They the ones that know how to know your vulnerabilities because they want the inside.
I mean, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether he should have paid it or he not should have paid it. They should have never been in that situation in the first place.
Facts. That's true.
The money.
But that's not his fault. The infrastructure ain't. That's probably the infrastructure that was set up from Schaefer when it was new shit.
So while each of these successive mayors was doing whatever they was doing, nobody had enough sense to take a good look at the computer system and the computer infrastructure, and at a minimum make sure it was secured properly. The biggest issue for me is that Baltimore took some Bloomberg Innovation Grant money.
Yes. Recently. And I don't know all the details of what it was for or whatever, but they used it to create an innovation team and talk about how to figure out how to recruit more police officers. No, y'all should have been taking that innovation money and figuring out how to harden the damn system. Like, the priorities be all off. Like, no, just hold police accountable. Y'all know, everybody know who the dirty police are. Run through and fire them and go, let's go ahead about our business. But now you got a city, a major city, right? A major U.S. city that didn't have computer systems and really don't still have computer systems. We passed them up, right? They got emails back, but I can't pay my water bill. And then they come back talking about the water bill going to be more. Like, so why is it going to be more? You know it is. They said, I saw something said, pay what you pay, what you normally pay, and we'll figure it out later. You know how much your bill is. Put it on there. Put it on.
Well, I mean, I still don't believe the city can tell us actually how much more water we actually using.
No,
but that's a whole nother.
If the internet is messed up, you know the pipes is messed up. The pipes older than the internet. Damn it.
They probably got some wood pipes in the system. That's why we all got lead.
So the Inner Harbor. You like the Inner Harbor?
I don't give a rat's ass about the Inner Harbor. I don't.
So they're going to spend a lot of money down there.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't spend one coin.
Every couple years they do something different down there.
Of course. Because that's what they like. They like that dirty ass water.
Yeah, maybe they're going to start draining it like whatever they doing in the
No, they're not going to drain it. They putting clams in there and try and make the water. They try and make the Inner Harbor swimmable. I just saw a story that said that they said the fecal matter levels are low enough for it to be safe for humans.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, no. Let me tell you something crazy. One time, I almost jumped in the Inner Harbor once. I haven't told this story before. Oh God. So my sister Shawan, who passed last year, almost a year, 11 months ago. When we were kids, we were walking in the harbor. My parents had a restaurant at the harbor at the time, and her doll, with the
Shih Tzu or something?
No, had a big head.
A doll, not a doll.
Doll, yeah. Doll.
Chucky?
No, a girl doll. In the 80s.
I mean, I was not that kind of girl.
Cabbage Patch.
Oh, okay.
Fell in the harbor. She dropped it and it fell in the water.
And you was about to jump in there and get it?
I thought about it for a second. She was crying and shit. And I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble. She was crying. And I saw the doll. It was in the water. And I was like, shit, I need to jump in, grab that. But a half a second later, it was so dark that the doll was gone. That's how dirty the fucking water was. And this was the 80s. I might have been gone.
You might not be here.
I wouldn't have been here. Because that would have been it. Who the fuck was going to get me? You know what I mean? And the water was dirty then. Mm-hmm. It is on. You saw a dolphin or something. Some fish was in the harbor. It's horrible. They can't clean that shit.
Well, they gonna try because they want to be able to swim in it.
White people. Black people ain't gonna be swimming in the harbor.
Well, listen, I don't know who gonna swim in what, but I'm telling you, the water acolytes, the people who like they like Ocean City. They want to go down there.
Have you been to Ocean City?
Nope.
No.
For what?
I haven't either.
I got stung by a jellyfish at Rocky Point Beach when I was 6 or 7. I ain't got. If the water ain't blue, sure they not getting it. if I can't see straight down,
I think that's fair.
But no, I don't think they should spend no coins down there. Like all of West Baltimore look like crap.
Now,
for real. So,
but let me say this.
no,
Okay.
nope. Now we about to.
You
now
got
we about to
kids.
be.
You got two boys. They're not
Yep.
kids anymore. They're young adults. But when they were kids, right? If you bought them school clothes, which you did,
I?
and they did not take care of the sneakers, they didn't clean the sneakers. They didn't do. They had other things that could, back when people played outside, right? Fucking around with their friends and shit. If they didn't maintain the clothes, were you quick to go out and buy more clothes?
No. So let me tell you, I played.
You see where I'm going?
I played by different rules.
Okay, I know.
Exactly. I didn't have no real furniture in my house until they were, like 3 years ago. Because when you have kids are rough on stuff.
Sure.
They jump. You got boys, they jumping over stuff.
Yeah.
No, and I bought clothes that, they could do whatever. Like, I ain't do you take your clothes off at the school. Ain't nobody got time for that. Go outside and play and enjoy yourself. Because that's what kids are supposed to do. That's how children learn. Children learn by playing. Children learn by roughhousing. Mm-hmm. Children learn by climbing trees. Children learn even by breaking things. And you don't want children to just be destructive and not give a shit about nothing. But children learn through breaking things, taking things apart, all of that kind of stuff. So if you trying to make an analogy between that and the harbor, I'm not. Because I was getting ready to say no.
No, I'm not at all. Here's what I'm trying to do. There are two problems. One problem is we have a segment of people that do not care about keeping things clean.
What does that have to do with
and
the
then
harbor?
we have another issue of we have homeowners who care about keeping things clean. Then we have
renters too.
Yes, and renters, right. And then we have an issue with money not being spent in the community. So we got
okay,
all
but let's
these
prioritize.
three things come back.
Let's prioritize these issues. Let's get this in the proper order. In our lifetime, the harbor got a multi-million.
I ain't talking about the harbor. I'm talking about Park Heights. I'm talking about.
I know, but it all
Village.
goes together,
okay.
right? In our lifetime, the harbor got a multi-million in Charles Center. Multi-million dollar rehab, redevelopment, or whatever the case may be. Name one place in West Baltimore.
I can't.
That got the same.
I can't.
Okay, so
now let's go back though. Why did the Inner Harbor get what it got? Because they assumed it was an investment. They assumed that they could make money by this being a tourist hub
with our tax dollars.
That's what they did, yeah. And they thought they could make the money back. Now, if you talk about these communities, they can't make that investment in the community because they don't see that as being a money-making thing. So that's their mindset. Well, wrong it is, but I'm saying that's their mindset.
And that's fine. So what I'm saying simply is before they spend one coin of our public resources redoing the harbor again, they've
lost money on the harbor.
They need to first invest money into the communities who had their tax dollars siphoned off to do development down the harbor.
I agree. But now you and me, we're appropriations, okay? We're appropriations. We're deciding where money is going, who gets what, right? What is spent on. How can we justify what you're saying?
Easy.
How?
It's people's tax money. It's the people's money.
Yeah, but in the mindset of the appropriations and the politicians, they're thinking, we know what's best.
But they don't.
Clearly.
If they did, the city wouldn't look like the fuck it do. So you can't ask me that. You can't ask me.
I think you answered it well. I think you answered it well.
Yeah, no.
So your idea is fix up the communities, the inner city. They will maintain it themselves. And then, if we walk out here, okay, every day, like the grandmothers used to do, or the homeowners in my community, I sweep this front. Okay? Every day, I watch people walk up and down the street, throw shit on the ground. I watch people drive down the street, throw shit out the window every day. Okay. Now, this is when the community is not looking good. It's just looking regular. If we fix it up, they're going to do the same shit unless something changes in the mindset.
Well, here's the thing. When people live in a community that look like trash, then they're going to treat it like trash. When people live in a community that don't look like trash, they don't treat it like trash. So if the expectation is that people act in a certain way in community, then you invest in that community so it looks like somewhere where people want to live. So I'm not trying to hear that if people done tore down. First of all, no, and no. Them kids didn't tear these schools down. The schools is half the buildings is 70, 80 years old. Yeah. So you expecting high quality performance from kids in schools and the building is low quality. That doesn't work. That's not how this works. So that argument about until the people pull their pants up, until the people clean up. No, that's not how it works. If you are in a position of authority and you are supposed to know what's best for the people, then you know that the condition or the quality of the people is based on the conditions that the people live in. You want quality from people, you give them quality. You raise them in quality. You give them clean water. You give them access to clean food. You give people safe places to work, safe places to worship, safe places to play. And the harbor would redevelop itself and be a world-class tourist attraction if black people in West Baltimore and black people in East Baltimore were healthy and whole. Because there are no people on the face of the earth that are more creative, that are more innovative, that have more to bring to create a culture of entertainment than black people.
Yes.
So
100%.
Especially those in Baltimore.
100%.
So ain't nobody trying to fix the neighborhoods and the harbor fix it damn self. How about that? If the rest of the city is dope, you think the waterfront not gonna become dope?
What you mean?
I'm just saying, like if the people are well, the people got a job, they got houses saved, and then the next thing is to secure your entertainment. We want dope places to go. Well, I got a good job, such and so just retired. We gonna open up a little spot down the harbor. Like, people will do it themselves when they have access to the resources, when they have access to the political system, when they have access to zoning, when they have access to grants, when they can go get development dollars. So the harbor will resolve itself if the communities are tight.
Yeah.
Until the communities are tight, they gonna keep. But the reality of it is,
how do we get the communities tight? That goes to the family.
Well, it does go to the family. We each have a responsibility in our family and to our family, but it also goes to people managing our tax dollars.
Oh, absolutely. We got to hold them accountable, but we can't expect them to fix everything.
No,
because we got some stuff we got to fix too.
Absolutely.
But we need to hold them accountable.
Right.
As well.
But you got to hold yourself accountable in that process.
100%.
So I'm good with that. Yep. Black folks got a lot of work to do, but let's not. We oftentimes act like the position that black people are in is because of our own doing solely or primarily, and that's not the case. Our experience here in the last 500 years is the primary reason that we're in the condition that we're in.
But that's true. But I just don't think we take our power, our economic power, we don't harness it. Because if we harnessed it, we could really bend this country to our will.
Well, we could do some things for ourselves. I don't know if we could bend the country to our will per se.
Because bending the countries will be the major corporations.
Well,
and the major corporations, that is the country.
I mean,
you know what I mean? I ain't talking about Idaho and, you know, I'm talking about these major companies. If we put our money in the right places, you know what I mean? We
could definitely do some. I feel like everything starts local, and we could definitely do. I think we should focus on doing dope shit in Baltimore and letting that be the model for our folks elsewhere. Because again, Baltimore has a storied history of black people doing super dope stuff all along. And so we have the ingenuity here to do it, but we do have to take responsibility. But shit, people doing it. You got the Black Church Food Security Network. You got Black Yield. You got Baltimore Ceasefire. You got the Food Project. You got Healthy Juice People. You got the Living Well. You got we could name people. Changa Bell and the Black Men's Yoga Initiative. We got Dr. Bridal Pearson and Dr. Henry Gregory have a men's healing group. We got all kinds of dope stuff. All kinds of people out here working. We need more people to come off the sidelines and do this and engage in this work. Because we could absolutely be doing more. We could absolutely be doing dope stuff. But part of it is study. People need to take a deep look at the work of leaders of a beautiful struggle. Look at, the information that they're putting out about the political system. But also we got to get in the books. People got this computer in front of them. Get on Google. Make sure that you sitting down with your children watching, what is it called, When They See Us. And telling your children, no matter what happens, if you engage with the police, you don't say shit. You don't say nothing. You tell them, I need my parents and a lawyer in that order. And you don't even talk to the lawyer that they send in until you see me. Until I'm sitting there with you. You don't tell them anything. Right. Like this is what happens. Right. Like we have to be very intentional, and we have to be clear about who our enemy is and what depth they will go to. They will ruin the lives of children
and not give
a shit in order to keep their narrative alive. Meanwhile, you got a police officer, a sworn officer of the law, standing outside at a school shooting for 45 minutes while children are dying. Like, come on. Nah, we can't. We got to be real.
They're going to try to make an example out of him.
Yeah, they only going to try and make an example out of him because he embarrassed the idea, or he has damaged the myth of the white man as a hero archetype.
But to me, he did exactly what the narrative is, which is every time they shoot an unarmed person, it's because they felt threatened. They were scared. He was the epitome of a scared officer. That's what a scared officer really does. When they say they shot somebody, they was lying. They wasn't really scared. They was feeling like bullies. He was a scared officer.
I get that he was scared. I mean, listen, ain't none of us Teflon.
No.
Have you ever been around when people shooting off regular guns?
Right.
It is scary. I'm not saying that
we've been around and we've
been around. I'm not saying that he didn't have a right to be scared, but as a sworn officer of the law, you supposed to be ready to die so that those children can live. Right? That is your.
He probably said, "I ain't signed up for that."
But then you
retired.
don't. Then you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be the police.
Yeah.
And to your point, he had a gun. Right? He had a gun. He knew the people in there had a gun. You supposed to go in there and do your John Wayne, right? But you standing outside 45 minutes, y'all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
45 minutes. But it's proof of what people feel is that most cops are cowards. Because that was cowardice. But when you know somebody don't got no weapon. Because see, whenever the time they say they was afraid,
they don't have
that's a lie. That's a lie.
Right.
It's just like when white people calling the police on black people for whatever. Yeah. They're calling the police because they want to witness a murder.
Right.
They call for a snuff film. They getting off on that.
That's true.
So, I ain't trying to hear that. Whether he should go to jail and all that, he definitely should get fired. He should get sat down. They just fired him. They should, he should get sat down. He lied, so I guess they allege that he lied. So I guess you can go to jail for perjury. But hey, listen. But again, y'all want to be having people with AR-15s and all this over dumb stuff like don't make no sense. I honestly, that stuff I don't understand. A right to bear arms for what? Like, we got nukes. Like, what you need an AR-15 for? We got nukes. Who messing with America? Like, I mean, for real.
Nobody.
Who messing with America? We use drones and shit to drop bombs on babies and shit. We don't care. I mean, Japan had basically surrendered in World War II, and then they dropped
another one.
Then they dropped some more bombs on. So
when they dropped the first one, it was over.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you need AR-15s for at your house?
Yeah, well, it's in the Constitution.
Oh, okay. Cause they scared the brown people gonna take their little country back.
Yeah.
Well, it's theirs. Let's be honest. It's theirs.
I enjoyed this conversation. We
ain't even fight. It's good. Good job.
We gotta do this again.
Good job.
Next week.
Next week? Oh, Lord.
Can we do this once a week?
Not once a week. Maybe once a month.
Okay, once a month. We do this once a month?
We can do it once a month.
Okay.
We can do it once a month. Because you seem like you've been doing some reading and some studying. You got your little, your little political. Bruh. You was reading the Source and Vibe before. Bruh, stop it. Black Tail. That's what you was reading.
Definitely.
Exactly.
No,
you sound like you've been reading some books and looking at some articles with scholarly resources at the end. I'm proud of you because I was.
How can people follow your movement?
So it can go on. I'm on Facebook, Fight Blight Be More. On Twitter, which I don't be on that much, so we're gonna skip that. And on Instagram, Blight to Bright. And if you want some information, you can go to my website fightblightbemore.com, and go to contact us and send me an email, and I try to respond fairly rapidly to the folks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I am
what time is it?
At the Diamond K Show at Radio on Fire. This Sunday, Flywire's all-white party, Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
That's too late. I'll be asleep.
6 p.m., 10 p.m. I will be on the red carpet interviewing, and we'll be streaming live from the red carpet. I'm very excited.
You got your outfit.
I have my outfit.
Fancy.
Yeah, I mean,
Good job.
I'm working, so I'm not gonna
give them too much.
No, I ain't gonna be too much, but enough. I'm gonna be comfortable. Yeah. So obviously you're not gonna be there.
No.
Tickets available now. Eventbrite.com. Definitely the party of the year, start of the summer, official start of the summer. All right. Thank you as always.
You're more than welcome. Now I got
right.
a vegetarian spot I can go to.
Yeah, of course.
What is it called? Fresh veg. What is it called?
Be More Righteous.
Oh, Be More Righteous.
Right.
I was off.
Yeah, you was thinking something else. All right, black owned.
Black owned. Dope.
All right. Okay. All right. So we'll be back in July.
Yes, in July.
All right.
Hopefully, won't be nothing exciting happening. But this is Baltimore, so.
Baltimore. We'll see.
How long was we on there? That was too long. We was dry. People gonna be like, Diamond